And here we are. Welcome one and all inside of the Red Light District, back for Mature Monday. And hello there, Mikey.
I can't believe my thing didn't work. I played it like 800 times prior to right now. Like, I bet I could click it right now and it'll work. Let me see.
All right, so what happened? Because it just like cut off like halfway through. That was weird.
It was weird because on mine it didn't play at all. It didn't do anything.
Oh, it played on this side of things, but I don't know. Oh, we have lots of peace and love right here.
Peace and love, peace
and love, peace and love. Yes, yes, yes. So just so you know, I have had a crappy ass day. I am dead tired. You wouldn't know it because I'm so chipper at the moment, but that's all my energy I have.
Bishop told me he was in the middle of A, removing a stump, and B, cooking grilled chicken, which is a staple.
He's pulling a knock. Stop it.
It's a staple of this show. You know, it's one of those things that happens every once in a while. And here we are, you know, we're in this situation that we're in. Cold and flu season has rolled in, as well as computer virus season, apparently. And we're doing
Listen,
the best
I swear to God, listen, in the Carolinas, it's freezing. I don't know how it is where you're at, but we're like it has to be like 40 here.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, it was extraordinarily cold. I couldn't believe
39.
how cold it was.
39 right now. As a matter of fact, it's so cold that I have porch drinks again. It's that time of year where you can just leave your drinks on the porch and the water's cold.
Porch drinks. I don't believe I've ever heard of that term. Porch
it's kind of funny. You know, back in New York where I grew up, whenever I'm over at my aunt and uncle's house, if there's ever any drinks, the good stuff is always outside. All of it. The soda, the water, the just sits on the porch, you know? So,
I mean,
by the way, what I mean, you know what? We haven't even said why we're here.
No, why are we here, Creed? Why are we sitting here?
Well, the return, you know, we're inside the Red Light District, something that we used to do a million years ago. Mature Monday, where, you know, things get a little frisky during these interviews. Mikey goes off the rails once in a while and gets really crazy. And,
no.
Yeah, you know, talking about
these be lies. These be lies. No, Penny Barber is joining us tonight, and you know, this is through our good friends that we used to do a lot of stuff with over at the Rub PR, and you know,
said we've been kind of with the Rub PR for since the inception, right?
Yeah, almost back. Right there around 2010, we started doing business with them. Great company if you're looking for representation.
See, free refrigerators. I'm telling you, it's the best way to do it. Although here, Sage, you know, it gets too warm during the day most of the time for us to do it here. But hell, in New York, where you're at, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, if you got it, do it. Just remember, they used to keep things cold in rivers. I've seen movies like that where they put
is that a thing? Yeah,
put things in the river and keep it cold. Something that's not cold is this interview tonight with Penny. She's going to be talking about she's a fetish filmmaker.
Yeah, question. So, fetish filmmaker, does she have specific fetishes that she's into?
Well,
or is it kind of a wide array?
There's one that I have found quite a bit of videos on for her.
Yeah.
And that would be stuff pertaining with diapers. I've got to dig deep into this. The diaper, the mommy thing. You know, being an old guy.
You're intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
Good.
And as soon as Penny is ready to give us a thumbs up, letting us know she's ready to go, we'll have her on, and you won't have to look at these two beautiful faces anymore. Not another second of these.
I was not ready. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we can see you, Penny. We're just waiting for you to give us a thumbs up. You ready?
All
okay.
Right.
There
awesome.
you are.
There she is. Welcome, Penny Barber. How are you?
Wow, look at this adorable room you're in. This is absolutely adorable.
Thank you.
Now, I want to apologize. I know we were a little late today, which is not like us. We're usually punctual, way ahead of time. The show that's known for professionalism, but
it's the cold weather. I'm telling you,
it has to be the cold weather. It's gotten cold here, and you know, we wanted to make sure we got you on, and you know, thank you for coming on the show with us. I was very intrigued by you as someone who was deep into the adult business before we took our hiatus from radio. We did Mature Monday all the time on terrestrial radio. We did a lot of stuff when we started podcasting back in 2009 before we left it. And now that we're back, I've been out of the loop a little bit. I'm a little behind the times, we'll say. And there's a lot of names I don't know. So after doing a lot of research, I felt like you would be a great guest. Strictly on two things. One, you kind of look like Katy Perry to me. Every time I see you, I say, wow, she looks a lot like Katy Perry.
I hear that all the time and I don't see it.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Gotta be the hair.
It's the hair. And the other thing is your work intrigues me because you're not a one-trick pony, we'll say. You cover a lot of different fetishes. You cover a lot of different types of films. And that, to me, is what an adult film actress has to be in this day and era. You have to be multifaceted. You have to have your hands on a little bit of everything. And you have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because that seems like that's the going rate right now for ladies like that.
I mean, the industry has changed a lot. I started in 2003, and it's very different now than it used to be. So, I mean, I would agree with that you have to be more diverse and that you're expected to be on more of the time.
Yeah. I mean, especially there's not just OnlyFans. People associate OnlyFans with it, but there's a million other avenues for adult film actresses and actors to make a living.
There's always a new one.
We left like during the age of of course DVD sales were still a huge thing.
Oh yeah, we used to get DVDs by the droves to give away all the time. I still have some here in my studio. It was it was the era of the trendy big money films, with the pirates and things like that.
It was, but it was also up here in San Francisco. It was still kind of more like the Wild West. Everyone and their mother had a store.
Right.
People were making these shitty little, if you were lucky, 480 DP or pixel, videos and posting them on Clips for Sale and, all these other little clip sites, many of which are no longer with us. And, the days of Craigslist.
I mean, it really has changed, and it's going in a whole new direction, which to me seems like it's perfect. It's more, maybe not so good for the company, but more for the talent. Because for a long time, it was the companies themselves seemed like they were making all the money, and they were giving a little bit here and there. But now it's the time. It seems like you can really make money for yourself. That it really can be something that you can retire off of, make a good living. Because I mean, a lot of people their time in the adult business isn't as long as yours. They don't get 10 years in the business.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it's almost like a football player. I mean, they have some of them have like Brett Favre type careers, and then stay too long in the business. And some of them, next thing you know, they blowed out their knee and they're sitting on the sideline after 2 years.
Well, when you work for other people, I think it's a lot easier to hurt yourself. Maybe all of the onset injuries I've had have been while working for other people.
See?
There's more pressure. You have to go faster. And I understand it. When I hire people too, it's like, we need to get this shot. We need to get it done. But when I'm shooting for myself, I can only shoot what I want to shoot when I'm ready. I can take my time. It's not a big deal. So yeah, I would say that's good. I think that being on a tour is better for everybody anyway. Well, mostly I do still think that there are probably some people who probably should not be in the business.
Right.
But, it's they're not hurting anyone but themselves. So whatever.
Now, let's break it on down. I've seen a lot of stuff now recently with you, and a lot of it's got to do with diapers. Please explain that to me, because, you know, I always prided myself as being, you know, the pervert of the show, where I knew everything. I come to this and I'm like, I don't get it. Please,
You're not a
enlighten me.
fetishist.
No, I don't think so. Not for diapers, at least.
Are you a fetishist for anything?
I would say I'm kind of a dominating kind of
But you don't like
personality.
a fetish for like an object, like or a
No,
body part even.
Now, I do love boobs. I'm a boob guy. But
do you have a fetish for boobs, or do you just like tits?
oh, definitely a fetish for boobs. I will look at a girl with a C- face with A+ boobs, you know, than a girl with an A+ face and, you know, maybe a D- boobs. So I mean, I'll give a little more leeway on the boobies.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess maybe it's a fetish. I don't know. But
what about breasts do you like? I'm assuming that they're soft, that they're warm, that there's a tactile pleasure, that they represent something.
Areolas, the size of the areola and the size of the nipple itself.
Well, you're saying what you like. You're not saying like qualities about it that you like. But like they're feminine. They probably represent, you know, womanhood to you in certain ways. If you're attracted
femininity.
to.
Yeah.
Again, when they're large, I'm guessing you like larger breasts than smaller breasts.
Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, larger breasts, so they're going to be soft. I mean, I'm guessing that ideally you want them to be really warm.
Oh yeah.
So
soft to touch, yeah, just warm. They smell
there's like
nice.
a sensual pleasure in it, and I don't just have a fetish for, you know, adult diapers and things like that. I also like, you know, stockings. I like latex a lot. And sometimes I like really weird stuff that most other people probably wouldn't find very interesting. But I really like objects. And one of the things that I like about adult diapers is it kind of like combines my interest in plastic and rubber fetishism with my interest in pee play. And also I really like that taboo role play. So it kind of mixes everything together. There's, you know, humiliation going on. A lot of times it's like a femdom thing. There's a lot of personal attention. If you've never had anybody put baby powder on your dick with a makeup sponge or like a powder puff, it feels really good. So there's a lot to enjoy about it if you can get past the what's going on factor and like see it as sort of like a high fetish thing and like really enjoy the sensuality of the experience and, you know, the smells, the odors. I love the smell of baby oil. I wear baby powder scented perfume all the time.
I wear baby powder scented deodorant. I use women's deodorant because it smells so much better than men. So I understand exactly what you mean by, you know, and look, fetishes, I'm 100% for them. I think everyone should have some sort of fetish because it does make it a lot better. And, you know, you're a little more open-minded. It gives you a little more of a leeway with people where you can, if you're going into the bedroom, it's not just going to be missionary, we're going to get up and not look at each other the rest of the night kind of thing. Maybe a little more excitement. And that's what a lot of relationships are missing is excitement.
That's sad.
Yeah, it really is. You should always have a little bit of an open mind.
Know if a fetish would necessarily fix it, but you know.
It'd give them something else to do other than rolling over and, you know, going to sleep maybe. Maybe
I don't know.
Together.
I'm
Bond over it.
Pro-dom too, where I was before COVID. And I feel like a lot of what I hear from dudes is not necessarily like their root problem is that my last client that I saw before everything shut down, you know, he was saying like, you know, my wife will never do this stuff. And I was like, oh, because I'd met her. She's really nice. And I was like, she seems pretty kinky. And she seems like she does a lot of stuff. And he's like, yeah, but she's always mad at me.
She just doesn't like you.
I don't think like their being kinky was really helping because she was kinky, he was kinky, tons of fetishes, but just, you know, maybe he should have been a little bit nicer to her and she would have been more willing to do it. If he hadn't
been such an asshole, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, right?
I would say he's an asshole, but I think he's a little selfish sometimes. And I think that maybe he should have been a little bit less selfish and he would have gotten a lot more.
I must compliment you on your Elvira costume. I thought that was fantastic. You did a great job with that. Are you a big horror movie fan?
I am a big horror movie fan.
So am I. Huge fan. I mean, just for this past month, I had Kane Hodder, who played, Jason in the Friday 13th movies. We had Bill Moseley on from Devil's Rejects, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. What is your favorite horror genre?
My favorite horror genre, I really enjoy surreal stuff that kind of makes you feel like you're in someone else's dream. Have you seen Human Lanterns or Paper House?
I've seen Paper House. I have not seen Human Lanterns.
I love nobody else has seen Paper House. When did you?
I watch a lot of really obscure movies. We actually had Tabitha Stevens on, and she made a movie called Influencers Die.
Influencers Die.
And if you haven't seen that, I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't seen it, but it's fantastic. If you're into gore, it's got Katie Morgan in it. It's just a fantastic, gory, fun ride. So, I mean, you like the movies where you feel like you're looking through the eyes of the protagonist or maybe even the antagonist?
Sort of. I mean, have you seen there's a documentary called The Nightmare, which is about, night sleep terrors, night paralysis.
I've watched some of it because it was not what not what I thought it was going to be. I got about halfway through it because I understand sleep paralysis because one, I've had it, and I had a son who had night terrors for about 2 years. And it's one of those things where how you see those people in the movie and on that documentary where they can't move. It is one of the most terrifying things. And at the same time, my son would scream at the top of his lungs for hours on end without waking up and never remember a thing about it. So it's frightening that what the human mind can do to you.
I mean, I wasn't really talking about what the movie's about, but what they do in it is, when they go into someone's sleep paralysis, they're trying to show their dream. They go into this alternate reality, which is very stage-like, and the lighting changes. It's much more stagey lighting. And at one point they show this creature moving from one person's, the shadow man moving from one person's dream to another. And the whole thing is set up like a set, and so it's like, he's like in a play or something, but also like this kind of like soundstage weird maze thing. And a lot of times when they did they did this one part of their interviews where they had the interviewer actually sitting in another room talking to the guy. And so they just did a lot of like very surreal, subtle things, which most people did not like the movie. I will admit that. I loved it. I've seen it like 10 times. But it's more a film that kind of has that really trippy Dario Argento lighting, and that isn't just about scaring you immediately with a jump scare or something, but is like about creating that slower kind of build where the scares are emotionally justified. So someone that I really like, he's more mainstream, is Ari Aster. So if you've seen his stuff, like that's pretty much what I like. And Midsommar and Hereditary.
Yeah, I watched Hereditary and I thought it was good. Midsommar, it was different. It was not what I expected it to be. I guess I was expecting something completely different when I started watching it, but
it was so different.
I know it's got a lot of fans to it. A lot of fans.
Oh God.
Now, as far as dressing up for Halloween, were you always like, before you got into adult business, that kind of thing? Were you always into Halloween? Were you just dressed up all the time? Your house was always a lot of stuff going on?
Yeah, we do Halloween. We did Halloween again this year. We decorated the front of the house. It was nice to be able to kind of like connect with people, outside of lockdown and everything. So that was really fun.
Did you notice a lot less trick-or-treaters this year?
We're in a new place. So what happened was one of the moms, I'll tell you. Oh God, actually it was kind of funny. Speaking of my film project, I had made this really cool like cardboard graveyard thing that was like elevated because I had this like puppeteer underneath it. There she was doing like an intro for it, sort of like an Elvira thing. It was like going to be this Halloween thing that was like hosted by a pumpkin, and it's going to be really trippy and bizarre. And I had like these professional puppeteers in and everything. But then COVID happened, and then my model kind of didn't want to do it anymore. So I had this big set, and I was like, God, what am I going to do with it? It's huge. It was just taking up space in our garage. So we put it out front, and we like punched holes around it, and we like dressed lollipops up as ghosts and kind of like spaced them out.
Great idea.
So kids who wanted to come by, because they did organize like a social distancing trick-or-treating thing in our neighborhood. So when kids did want to come by, they could like take a ghost and just kind of like leave and not like touch anything or be near anybody. So we did do it. I don't know if we had less though, because this is our first year here, but we had plenty. we ran out, you know.
And that's always a good thing. If you, as long as you don't have those leftovers. Now, another thing I saw that you do is the selling of panties, which is
Everyone and their mother.
everybody sells their panties. But the thing that got me was I noticed you would sign some of them kind of thing. I saw some of them were signed. And some of them you had signed on the crotch. And I was like, oh my God, if this guy likes smelling crotches, he's going to get high as a kite off this marker. He is going to really enjoy. He's going to enjoy the smell, but at the same time, he's going to get high off the Sharpie marker. I've only done that
once. And those went to a woman, actually.
Really?
So, yeah.
Do you get a lot of requests from women for panties? I was going to say, you built a whole new clientele, if so.
That's why she stuck out to me, because I was like, oh, it's a lady. But she asked me to sign them, and I was like, okay. So, you know,
I noticed
I'll honor reasonable requests.
Right. You have this class coming up where you're going to teach about squirting, which is something that I've talked to a lot. I mean, I've probably done, I don't know, 400 or 500 different interviews with adult film stars. And once squirting became kind of mainstream, we had Flower Tushy and a bunch of different ones on to talk about it. It seems like it's divided right down the middle, exactly what is going on with squirting. What is your take on what is going on when the act of squirting is happening?
We'll say that I'm teaching the class is maybe a little bit generous. I'm going to be demoing. So DANARAMA from Two Naughty Boys is actually teaching it. But I actually did not used to squirt. I'd done it like once or twice. And then back when I was a webcam girl, some guy showed up and he's like, I'm going to teach you to squirt. And I was like, okay,
wow.
buddy. Like, sure.
A bold statement.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. And he's like, no, I do this with all the models. And I was like, well, that's a great little fantasy you got for yourself there. You know? And then he did take me private, and he just had me on a fucking machine for like, I don't even know how long, like an hour. And, you know, I just kind of kept coming, and it was like relaxing. And I was like, you know, I'm having a good time. I'm not squirting, but I'm having a good time. Okay.
Right.
And then he said, you know, when you're coming, you tense up. Don't do that. And I was like, how am I supposed to not tense up? Like, I'm having an orgasm. Of course I'm going to tense up. And he was like,
right.
Well, don't, just relax. And I was like, okay, you know, why not? I gave it a try. And ever since then, I have been a squirter. So for me, and there's definitely pee in it, like that whole thing, like there's definitely pee in it, but at the same time, when it's in the sheets and it dries white, which I've definitely peed on my sheets before, and it doesn't dry the same way. So there's other stuff going on, but I will admit that there is definitely some pee down there. So if you don't like pee, you know, maybe it's not for you, but it feels really good coming out. Like, I hadn't felt anything like it before. It just feels like this like release. And I would say the orgasms are more draining, more satisfying. Okay. You know, like they take more out of you. So I like it. And if you're curious, then you should come watch me do it and learn some more about it. It'd be fun.
Do you think that this class would be more beneficial for men who are trying to get their women to do it, or for women to see it and get a better idea of what's going on? Because, you know, one hand shakes the other, but which one of those two people needs to have their A game? Who needs to be attending these classes?
On the one hand, I do think that you can teach your partner. So I think that there's something valuable. If you're a guy who wants to go to this class, who wants his partner to maybe start squirting, you know, you should definitely go. But also, you know, Dan and I are both teaching it. So you'll have both perspectives in there, from, you know, him as a male, you know, fetish porn star who does this, and me, who it's actually happening to my body. But I don't think that it's out there for women to come and, you know, be able to ask questions, and you just kind of like figure it out, because it is your body on the one hand. On the other hand, I was taught how to do it by a guy. So, you know, anyone who wants to make it happen, I think you can just kind of keep in mind that ultimately it is her body. it's going to be happening too. I
mean, do you feel like it's a well-kept secret in a way, that it's not something you're going to stumble upon? You kind of need to work at it?
I think that mostly the fantasy about it that's presented is like as a male fantasy, like they want to see evidence of pleasure, and it looks very like, you know, theatrical and it's cool and everything. But I do think like I said, it feels good. Like it feels good when it's coming out of you. Like I know that sounds like kind of weird to say and kind of a little bit gross.
Yeah.
But I guess squirting is weird and a little bit gross. I think that women should be told more about it. That it's not just like the theatrical thing that like ruins the sheets. It does really feel good. It feels really great.
I mean, it seems to me, I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'd be love to hear that. But it seems to me a lot of the female orgasm kind of thing and it being more, it's not as important in a lot of relationships. It seems like it's too much of a one-way street. I've, in my time met a lot of women that say, oh, my husband's never given me one. He leaves the room and then I finish taking care of business and things like that. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, not everyone is you, Penny. You got to remember that. I mean, there are housewives out there that are not getting what they need.
I'm okay. I mean, people are always asking me for advice. And I mean, honestly, my first husband was like that. And the only answer was to leave him. But obviously people don't want to hear that. God, I can't imagine what I would do if my current husband, the orgasm ratio is definitely skewed the other way. He does what he has to do, but also like he's willing to really just go down on guys say that they like to go down on women, but they don't actually do it that much. Right. He actually does it a lot. God, because I'm in an open relationship. My now ex-boyfriend asked me one time, he's like, how long can your husband hold himself up for? And I was like, I don't know, like, a missionary position. I was like, I don't know, like forever. And he was like, well, how long has he actually done it? And I'm like, 3 hours,
Nice.
So it's an odd situation because I feel like men who don't want to, I can't imagine leaving your partner to masturbate by herself. Like I had a female partner who had a hard time getting off and she'd use the Hitachi, but I wouldn't leave while she was doing it.
Yeah. It's one of those things like, I'm going to make a sandwich. The game's just started. You're going to clean this up and take care of things. It's almost like you just come to Thanksgiving dinner and get up and leave after you've eaten.
What? But
I mean, like that. I mean, it's a great metaphor. Come on, Penny. You got to.
I would never. I mean, honestly, no. I stay at the table too until other people are done eating. Maybe it's just manners.
Yeah, exactly. It's just rudeness, and that's what's going on. Too much rudeness in the bedroom.
I can't imagine like wanting to do that to a partner. It's like, don't you love her? Like, don't you like sex? Like, even if you're not actively getting off, like I still like sex, like, but okay.
I mean, it's rewarding both ways. I mean, really,
you feel like a jerk, like, even though I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. And I think that this class you guys are going to be doing on squirting on November 22nd, I think it is. You guys are going to be doing that.
Yeah.
And you can,
mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a limited amount of people. I think it's 100 attendees or only thing that's going to be allowed in there, something like that.
I think it's sold out yet. I mean, it's still like a little ways off. But it's fun. I promise that if it does sell out, they say they always do. But even if it does, I'm going to do a little vlog that I'll put up on Pornhub where I do talk about like squirting from the female side of it. So, there's at least that, but you'll also be able to like be in the class. And I don't know if you can ask questions. I think you can. It's on Zoom.
Right.
So you can ask questions if you have specific questions for me or for Dan, about what he's doing. Or for me about what my body is doing or how I facilitate it. Because I still can't really make myself squirt unless it's like in very specific circumstances.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. You should come out if you're into squirting or you just want to talk to somebody about it or ask somebody about it who's been doing it for now.
Educational purposes. That's what I say all the time. That's what we're doing right now. This whole conversation we've had are for educational purposes. And that way people can learn something, because if you learn something, you can go on and teach it to someone else, and then they can teach it to someone else. The next thing you know, everybody's squirting. It's a big, fun, wet world out there. Before I get ready to let you go, I wanted to ask you, favorite band. What's your favorite band of all time? If you're sitting around and you're like, I'm going to put on such and such, what am I putting on?
Who I've been listening to a lot of recently, because it's kind of like, feels like slutty mom music to me, is Trevor something.
Slutty. Say that one more time.
Like slutty mom. Like, you know, they have this like one song, like, you know, she's an 80s baby. She goes for the bad boy type. And I'm just like, ugh, it's just like such a mom like thing. I don't know. I like it.
The slutty mom is trying to be cool and hip. Might even bang one of the high school kids' friends. You never know.
College kids' friends.
She's just that slutty mom. And that's another thing that seems like it's really big. The whole mom thing. That is like the number one thing nowadays is the mom thing. That is it. That is the golden ticket right now.
No, I love it.
And you're serving it up by hot scoops too, boy. I mean, you're riding a train with gravy and biscuit wheels. I mean, you're really on it.
So many men are just like having to face their mommy issues. I love it.
Yeah. And you're really good at it. So what's your website so those guys can get over there and see all that goodness?
I mean, honestly, I have so many.
You got
just
so many.
follow
Yeah.
me on,
I wasn't even going to try and figure out which one to talk about.
Follow me on Twitter at Pampered Penny. And if you see something you like, you know, click on it.
Yeah. I highly recommend just listening to her talk. You have a way of talking that's like, this might go somewhere. And you just want to keep listening to find out where it's going to go because you never know. You never know. So make sure you get over there. You follow that. I'm going to put all the details to the Zoom meeting down in the description for this video. I wanted to just thank you for coming on so much, Penny. And we're going to have you on again because you know what? I've just scratched the surface of weird things that I want to talk to you about and maybe even upset you a little bit as far as like, you know what? This guy is such a jerk. He's just told me there's women that don't get off in sex.
So long as like,
believe it.
You're not the one who's walking out before she's even just like hold her when like sometimes my husband just holds me while I use the Hitachi or like, you know, lick her nipples or something while she's doing
I'm not leaving till there's steam coming off her body.
Good. Okay.
Happened to me one time. That's the reason I said it. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Penny, for coming on. Creed, where are you, Creed? There
I'm
you
right
are.
Here. I'm hiding out.
Good old sick Creed.
Sorry.
Like she's gonna get me.
Yes, he's like the Night Stalker. He's out of nowhere, and there he is. Everyone, please make sure you go and check it out. All the details for Penny are down in the description. Penny, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you.
Bye, Penny.
Awesome. I was here. I was listening.
I saw you. I saw you over there doing your thing.
Doing my thing.
Enjoying. This guy said, bye, Gwen Stefani. All right.
She does look a lot. She does look a lot like Katy Perry, with dark hair. I enjoyed some of the Ugly Pirates ones as well of creepy Mikey.
Creepy Mikey ain't got no boner. Come on now. It can't get out from underneath my belly.
That's funny. All right. Well, there you go. Our first new episode. That
was very interesting, huh?
Yeah, no, she's really cool. Very different. And I always love whenever you can talk horror with somebody because I know you love your horror films too. Yeah.
I think I may have tripped her up right away. Classy Mikey fashion made the guests feel super uncomfortable off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. You never know what you're going to get. But that's the return of Mature Monday here in the Red Light District, part of the Creedence and Bishop show. So we appreciate you joining us.
Speaking of that, the actual Creedence and Bishop show, the long form of the incredible, never-ending Creedence and Bishop show, will be Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern time, right here, wherever you're watching us from right now. But if you're not watching us on YouTube, shame on you.
Yes, please go over there. If you have a or many YouTube accounts, please subscribe over there. We need you.
10 or 12 of them.
We need that. We like that. That's our mission for the next few months.
We're halfway to our mission we're only been doing this since the end of May, so I feel bad about bragging, but we're so close. So close.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone was able to enjoy this educational film we just did. I mean, this is all educational purposes, just like our friends at YouTube like.
There you go.
Education.
All right. So thank you guys so much. I guess we'll see you Wednesday.
If there's not a car chase between now and then.
Yeah, I kind of surprised. We almost had one the other night, right as we got off the air, and man, I got everything set up. Yeah, yeah, because everybody has minds are, after we got off the air, off of here, it popped on, and man, by the time I got everything fired up, everything ready to go, text you, and it's gone, done,
over and done.
Yep. All right. Well, pending any of those wonderful car chases. Oh, and we missed a super typhoon over in the Philippines. Didn't even know that was going on.
I was like, should we cover that?
No, there's not going to be. There would be nothing. There's like no news. It was like
the wind's like 2,000 miles an hour. I mean, like, who's there?
On the coast that it hit, I mean, they were like dark right off the bat as soon as it happened. And it's not like they have a bunch of live cams that we could watch, like, you know what I mean? So, Jesus, I mean, that would have been a tough one.
We could have got Bishop with the green screen behind him, like he was reporting from the Philippines.
All right, everybody. We will. Do we have a outro? You got to remind me on these things. Forgets.
Yeah. Don't worry, I don't forget, because guess what?
I know you don't.
I do it. I make this.
All right, awkward wave goodbye. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Goodbye and good night. Goodbye and good night. Goodbye and good night. Goodbye and good night. Goodbye and good night.